Good afternoon, friends. Today is March 1st, Friday the March 1st. I'm recording chart patterns, not just the ABC bullish patterns, but I'll be showing you plenty of other patterns for the next week starting from Monday, March 4th. First, what I thought I would do is I would actually wanted to show you some of the winners and losers of the last month, starting from February 1 to February 28th. The calls I made and the trades I posted. So those are the ones which I thought I would show you first and how these patterns actually worked out. And then I will go into a little more of these ABC patterns currently forming or any other patterns forming, and I'll start showing it to you. And I do have quite a bit of list, so I think I'll get started. The first one is what we're looking at is an S&P. S&P is still in a strong trend. We did have a couple of days of a sell-off, kind of a triggering thinking that that may be probably heading towards its 1460 and 1470 levels, but that didn't happen, and it probably regained most of its reversal, and now it's probably heading towards higher. So I am still thinking that this is probably going to go to this 1550 level. That is my kind of 100% of the ABC target. And also what I'm noticing it today is we had at the end of the day, this is the 30-minute chart of S&P. You can also see the same thing in spiders or E-minis. And here we have an inverse head and shoulder pattern forming. So the way to trade this is only trade about the when the price closes above the neckline, that is 1525.5, and then we'll probably look for targets of a 61 to 79, 78%, and the next would be 100% of its range, which is 1565. So now let's just look at a couple of other ones. Let's look at dollar. Dollar is in a pretty solid double bottom pattern, and I am trading this using UUP dollar bull ETF, and currently I guess I had 22 calls, and they were done right now. So I still have a little more left, and I think and I'll be waiting for it because I'm still expecting dollar to reach between this is the 82 and a half to 83 and a half. So I'll be actually getting rid of them once it reaches above this range. Let's look at gold. Gold is still in a massive sell-off mode, and today also it fell in the market. So GLD also fell. So one of the rule which I had in this ABC patterns is trade only when price closes above the EL level, and that is the time I wanted to take the trade. Otherwise, I don't take the trade, and luckily that never happened here. So because of that reason, I would think that's what probably saved me. Otherwise I would have probably entered into this trade. Now I guess we definitely want gold to see return and trade above this 200 period moving average in order for us to give any kind of a trade setup. Otherwise it's actually in a either it will be in a consolidation mode or a full-blown sell-off. Let's look at QM. This is the one incredibly puzzled me because my targets for QM for the past 4 or 5 weeks, and I've been trading USO options, and that is from 99 to 103. It went almost close to it. I think about $98 he traded it, and then since then it's for the past I guess it's almost 2 weeks now, and now it's actually the trend also is turned into negative. So but I unfortunately I still have the USO options, and I guess I'm going to keep it, and I believe I have USO 35 call options probably for April. So I guess if it reverses it I would get it, otherwise probably they'll probably expire at zero. So the first what I thought I would show you is I would show you a couple of calls which I made it during the February month, and they are actually losers. But this is part of the stock game, because these are quite dependent on the earnings, and I was hoping that their earnings would be better, and I am only trading the ABC patterns, not the earnings, but they turned out to be bad. But anyway, I'll show you that my first stock is OVTI. OVTI was in an ABC pattern, and I took this trade sometime I think in the late January. Then thinking that this would actually get to this 16.75 and 17.75, and that's I think I had a 17 calls. I believe it is a March 17 calls. So just yesterday they released their earnings, and of course their earnings didn't do well, and today actually it fell close to $2 at one point, and it's $1.80. I still have those options, and probably they expire worth less. So next one, again, it's this is also an earnings call, which I was quite confident of it, but I guess it didn't work out. Let me show you that. That is the Garmin. Garmin had an ABC pattern, and I believe I took it also same thing in February at the time, and then of course now it's completely ended up, and that's probably also will end up at zero. So now let's take some of the stocks, of course, which have worked out really well. So let's just start off with one of the stock which I posted it quite a bit in the last few weeks is the Deckers. And Deckers is the winner because I've been trading Deckers almost in the beginning of January time frame, and I was pretty confident because the trend is also green. This is the underlying trend, what I call it the super trend, which is the and also that's indicated by the blue, and of course the red is the bearish trend. So here once I triggered it, I actually bought this, and of course now it actually crossed its first target range between that is 43 and 46 and a half, and I actually sold it in the multiple batches. Today was a great day because it actually rallied about $5.50, and then it traded about $46, and I had 45 Decker 45 calls. Next, let's see another one which actually worked out incredibly great, which is the Xilinx. This one also, some of you probably remember I posted this stock, and I've been trading Xilinx for a while. And what I did was I had a 39 calls, March 39 calls. So when the price actually became in the money, that means when it reached this 39, and that's when I sold it, because I knew that the secondary targets is between 39 and $41. So that's when I sold it. So it's actually in that day, once it became in the money, I actually sold the calls, and then immediately it starts coming down now. I still think that this stock would go higher, but I think it may need to see it's a bit of a retracement, and usually I look for a retracement up to this 62%. That means it may come down to this 35 and a half. Then I will reevaluate to see if I do want to get into it or not. Another stock which worked out great is the Philip Morris, or this is Altria actually. They changed the name, of course. This is again the same thing, which I traded this, and then I sold it about on the same day, and this has also worked out pretty well. And now it's coming back and it's testing its 33 and 50. This is again I've been trading this also since January. Now let's look at another stock which I have closed this trade. This is Infosys. Infosys is also it actually gapped up about $10 one day, I think right after their earnings, and it's right now I do not have positions, but this is also one of the winner in February. And let's look at another one. Is a this one this is I actually closed this trade a little bit prematurely, but this one I've been one of the confidence of this chart was because it is a ABC is an embedded part of a ascending triangle. The ascending triangles, let me draw it, and I think you could go back into my my website and see in the archives. You can actually see this. This is where this trend line is, and then this is the ascending triangle part of it. So, but then there is also an ABC bullish pattern. So I actually traded this when it was about to breaking out, and then I closed it because in the last few weeks it did have a kind of a sideways action, but once their earnings came, and today it actually rallied up to like $12.50. But I guess I actually closed the trade thinking that it actually going to retrace it back. But regardless of it, it was a winner. Now let's look at another one is a And this one I traded, and I'm not there now, but I completely closed this position again in February. But this is one of the perfect ABC patterns which resulted in a pretty solid conditions. And I guess right the targets were between 41 and 47, and it actually right now it's just traded above the 47 today. It closed at 48 and 82. It may go still higher, but I was expecting that it would probably stop at this gap high level. This is the day I guess wherever it gapped down, and that's about May 3rd. And I thought that that would be its target, and I think it's probably that it right now today trading above that price. Let's look at some of the stocks which currently still have positions, which is a Nordstrom, and this is also I have posted it. And now I still have positions for this one, and this is the ABC pattern, and I'm expecting it to reach between 58 and half and 60 and half, and I think I posted this about 1 or 2 weeks ago. Let's look at another one is a IMAX. So this is again a February winner, and I closed this position also. This one I closed it, I think when I probably reach, some of these targets of a 24 and 25, and I think that's when I had the calls, and I think it may still move up, but at this point I don't have any positions in it. Let's look at it. Currently I have a General Dynamics GD. GD, I just recently took the trade. This is an ABC bullish pattern, which is I took the trade about when it's crossed about like this $67 price range, I guess. So I'm still holding on to these calls of these 70 calls. So I'm hoping that it would get to that point, because right now it's trading at 67.75. I guess my target is about 71 and 73, but I do have 70 calls. Now let's look at one of the stock which not doing that well, but I do have these calls, which is a Microsoft. Microsoft, I guess, for a different reasons I took it. There wasn't any great pattern here, but I guess I'm hoping that this stock would get to this $28 level, thinking that. But I've been keeping this for some time, but so far there's no clear pattern here yet. Then another one is I have taken Intel. I'm long on Intel based on this ABC pattern and ABC bullish pattern here. It just right now is trading at 21, and I think the best entry could have been just if it trades right above the mid-fib band, which is about 21.50. But I already have positions, and I am actually trading the I believe it's April or May 23 calls. So this is the first target I'm expecting is between 22 and a half and 23. So that's what I think it may happen between, I guess, now and May. And one of the stock which I wanted to show you is I do not have a position in Apple, but Apple has a I'm sure some of you probably seen this. This is an inverse. This is the ABC bearish pattern, but it also has what I call is a head and shoulder pattern, which has been here is the head and shoulder pattern, and it's now the current targets on Apple is the first target range. I've been posting this for quite some time, although I never took a position in Apple in the recent months, but the target range is between 390 and 419. I think that will be the target, and today also Apple fell about $11 at one point, and I guess it's probably heading towards that 419 and $390. So let's take a look at yes, this is the Arun. This is the Aruba Networks, and let me show you quickly here. Right, and this has an inverse head and shoulder pattern, and I'm actually bringing that pattern to you from different chart. Okay, here. So this is the inverse head and shoulder pattern, and it actually recently broke out after their earnings. So the target ranges would be between 30 and 31.50 is the first target range, and the next target would be $34. So currently it's trading at just about $25. So again, I'm actually reading this from my radar screen, and this is where I have the list of the stocks which I wanted to talk about it, and I listed it here, and I'm actually clicking on there, so the chart is actually linked to radar screen from there. Now let's look at another one called Baidu. I do not have a position in Baidu. Some of these probably I have some, but not in Baidu. Baidu is, their earnings were relatively bad, and that's the reason the stock actually tanked. And now it's kind of showing a double bottom. So let's just watch it, but I don't think I want to take a position in it yet because there's no confirmation of a trend reversal or anything. Only thing is in the last 2 days it has some kind of a positive market action. Um, Another one is a Brocade. Brocade, I do have positions. Brocade, I've been trading this $6. I guess that was my target. It did reach the six and for a briefly 1 or 2 days, and I do have $6 calls, and I guess I was hoping that it would get to this 62 to 70%. Sorry, 79% range. That's a $6.5 to $7, and that's my targets. But I'm actually holding on to the $6 calls. Next one is a CMG. This one I do not have a position. I think I was a bit skeptic about it, but this one is forming what I call an inverse head and shoulder pattern here. I don't have a position, but I guess if it works out, it may. But then the targets would be something like a 350 and 360. But currently, I have no positions in CMG, which is a Chipotle. Next one is a Cirrus. This is actually it's quite correlated to Apple stock, so I guess I not taking any positions in most of the Apple stocks except I took OVTI, which is Apple related. But this is the one which has a head and shoulder pattern, and I guess the targets may be much coming down further down to this. So I'll be waiting for it, but I don't have a position in Cirrus. Next is Google. Google actually just wanted to show you that it actually reached it's completed its first target range that between 770 and 807, and I think the high on Google was something like 808 and 60 or something. So that was the price range I think it reaches. So it's completed its first target range. It doesn't mean that it's going to reverse and go down, but I think that was a region. And then if Google really continues to higher it, the targets would be much higher, which is I know it looks ridiculous, but it's 912 to 988, and that would be the next target range for the Google. But I think we will probably wanted to see some kind of a retracement, but that's what I thought I would show you is the first target range. Next one is the Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs, I've traded this plenty of times. I do not have a position now. What I wanted to show you is a weekly chart of Goldman Sachs, which still the targets for Goldman Sachs is $162. So I think it's heading towards that, and right now it's like about $150, and that's where it's what I call it. This is the perfect ABC bullish pattern uh, um, in a weekly charts. Let's go back to daily. And let's look at this one, which is I don't have a position in Halliburton, but I will show you. And this is something which I wouldn't have traded it. Only thing is there is actually an inverse head and shoulder pattern which is actually currently working in Halliburton, that's how the pattern is formed. And I guess the targets would be the first targets would be 45 and 47 and 49.75. Head and shoulder patterns are a little bit different than ABC patterns, but they do have an ABC embedded ABC type of thing in this. So you can see this on the right side of the shoulder is actually head and shoulder ABC bullish pattern here. There the targets would be different. If you're trading a head and shoulder pattern, then your targets most of the time it is up to like between 61, and then the second target would be something like 49.72. Next one is the MCD, which is the McDonald's. This is for some reason I know the trend is pretty much in green, but I have actually taken a short position based on something called it's forming as what I call it a pennant formation. or a broadening formation. And broadening is it's like a megaphone. So I actually shorted this thinking that it would come down to this $90. So that's what I have positions right now. It's trading at 95 and 5. For the past couple of days actually the action is pretty positive. So I guess I could be wrong here, but I have a 90 puts in McDonald's. Now let's look at another one is a Monster. I don't have position now, but I have traded this in the past. Monster, I guess if it really does close above this $51 price, then I think the targets would be 56 and $59. Just a couple of more. One of them is a Tiffany's. Tiffany's has an ABC pattern, but more of it also has an inverse head and shoulder pattern, which is actually currently working. So the targets would be, for the first target would be 77, and the second target would be like $83. But the first target range is 77 to $80, and I currently don't have any position in Tiffany. That would be it, guys. Thanks a lot, and thanks for your comments. And yes, I will try to post in the middle of the week too, but some weeks it's different because it takes a lot of research to post it and actually build the videos and then update it, and a lot of effort. But I'll try to streamline it a little better, and I try to post it in the middle of the week too. Thank you. Thanks again. Have a great weekend.